I'm still learning my eCam
He's
situation.
He's a one-man show.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you're solo. There we go. Still learning my eCam situation. Didn't realize it was going to...
How are we doing?
I didn't realize it was going to like automatically change scenes. But hello and welcome.
Hello.
It's okay. Thank you guys for being here. It's super cool. And thank you also, before we jump into our main topics today, thank you so much to Philip Bridges, who was just in our Coupled Table chat.
What's up?
For a super chat. And then
Thanks,
also
Phillip.
Thanks to Digital Slang. I know we need to work out a time for me to join you guys on your stream too. So that's a thing that we need to figure out. So hello and welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. I've got my lovely wife, Heather, who you should know, especially if you watch live streams with me regularly. She's our moderator extraordinaire and deserves every bit of the paycheck that the job comes with. So today I wanted to kind of just do a live stream. It's Black Friday. I've been wanting to stream a little bit more on this channel and on this channel, as if I have another channel. I've been wanting to stream more, and I thought this was a good opportunity, and I also thought it was a cool chance to sort of touch on something that I've been wanting to do a stream about for a while, which is my ethics statement, because who doesn't want to spend their Friday night getting ethical? Everybody does. So that's what we're going to kind of do today. Before that, though, there's a couple other things that I wanted to touch on. We just finished our stream, so if you haven't checked out youtube.com/HeatherJustCreate, Heather and I do a live stream every week called The Couples Table. It has nothing to do with cameras and audio and everything. It's just sort of our lives together, and it's a really fun community to be a part of. And then we had the idea to do a stream over here as we were wrapping up that episode.
We just got off that live stream like 30 minutes ago, and we were like, let's go live on your channel. And so now we're here.
And Heather had a great idea for a future live stream. It's one that I need a little bit more time to prep on. But one of the comments I get a lot, and there are actually a few in the chat before the stream has started tonight, is a lot of people have invested in Rodecaster Pros or like pod mics and stuff like that. And in some way, my videos played a role in that decision. Like they saw a video and they, I don't want to take total credit for selling all the things, but, it at least played, I guess I was an influencer.
Inspired.
It inspired. I like that, an inspirer. And that's a really big deal to me. And I'm really interested in, since we have all of these, all of this stuff being created by people, what I'm interested in is what on earth you're creating with it. So
yes.
In the next, probably not tonight, because I'm going to be tired. We're going to want to play some Zelda, which has been our Thanksgiving break thing.
Age of Calamity.
Yes. So maybe tomorrow I'm going to do a community post, and if you keep an eye out for it, and if you create something, if you've got a Rodecaster and you've got a pod mic, and I want to know what you make with it, so it'll be a chance for you to kind of share, your links and stuff there. And then what I would like to do is a future live stream where we kind of highlight some of that stuff and take a look at some of your podcasts, your guys' live streams, whatever it is that you're making with the gear that you're using, because I think that's awesome. Like, it's really...
We would love to see what you guys are creating and listen.
It's really fun to talk about gear, but it's also then incredibly fun to see
what you do with it,
how that's being put to use. And that segues us into something we're going to do new right now, which is a guest. So I have talked about this person in positive ways on more than one occasion, especially on podcasts and things, because he is, I feel like his show is new, but now it's like a year old. The Hive podcast, if you have not checked it out, check it out on all podcasting platforms. I can guarantee you that if you're watching my channel at one point, if not many episodes, there are people that you are interested in who have been guests on the show. And the Hive podcast is a show started by Jared Spink. And he's an awesome guy. I had the privilege to be on his show earlier this year, and it was a ton of fun. And I also am just a fan who listens every single week. Jared is also the proud owner of a Rodecaster Pro. So I promise this will all make sense. But before we dive into ethics and things like that, I wanted to talk to Jared and test out the interview function of eCam Live, which is a software we're using right now. Made a video about eCam Live yesterday with Zoom. I was pointing as if a card's going to pop up. It won't.
I was like, where are you going?
So we're going to bring in Jared and just sort of have a chat. And I have a very, very important question to ask him before we wrap up. So let's see here. Please give a warm round of applause
welcome
for Jared Spink of the Hive Podcast. Yay.
There it is.
Alrighty. Hey, Jared, what's up?
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
All right.
Can you check on there? I'm just going to have Heather's going to check and make sure everything sounds okay because we've got like speaker headphones.
The delay is like throwing me off. But
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's. Let's see. Can we still hear you? Can you still hear me, Jared?
Absolutely.
Okay. You can. It's worse.
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
There's a little bit of an echo.
There's a weird echo there. Okay. I think maybe this. We'll figure it out. Okay.
No, I'm glad you're testing it because this is what I've been.
Yeah,
wanting
you
to
are our
incorporate
test
into my
subject. It's just me being able to hear you is a little bit tricky, but people are saying echo. It's echoing.
Oh, it is echoing.
Okay, so then maybe someone can help us or Jared.
This is why we are doing this.
This is our test run of the interview thing. So Jared is being brought in through Ecamm. If I have
pull the fader down on him. I
did. So he's down on here on the Rodecaster.
Oh, there. Now it's fine.
But now I can't hear Jared.
Oh.
Oh, maybe. Let's try something here. Let's change out outputs and turn down my computer volume. All right, Jared, how is it?
I can hear you just fine.
You can hear me just fine?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Then let's see. Cool. I think we figured it out. So weird input situations. Sometimes I overcomplicate things.
Tom has a tendency to do that.
I have a tendency. Okay, good. Echoes are gone. Thank you guys for pointing out echo. I would hate to.
I know you can't listen to it if there's an echo.
So anyway, Jared, thank you for spending your Friday night with us here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for people who might not know you, I'm really curious. I'm hoping that. Sorry, thoughts are happening. I got distracted by the chat because I just had an idea. Someone posed a solution. I got it. But I'm hoping that people who are watching might be familiar with the Hive Podcast and have at least listened to a couple episodes or heard you on some other shows. And if they haven't, can you give us the elevator speech, the overview of what it is?
What's the Hive Podcast?
Yeah, when did you start it? Why did you start it? What is it?
Yeah, so the Hive Podcast is something I've been wanting to start. I've been wanting to start a podcast all the way since 2011. Finally pulled the trigger, partially to watching some of your videos, Tom. Mm-hmm. And I've always wanted to have a platform where people can express their stories and their journeys. And ever since starting my own photography and videography business, I've kind of wanted it to focus around that. Finally pulled the trigger March or April of this year, and it's been great being able to, meet creatives and have them tell their stories. I mean, I've had both of you guys on, and
those were obviously the highlight episodes, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm surprised you wanted to continue the show after that because it's like, when you reach the top of the mountain,
just stop, right? Just stop.
Which I'm totally being obviously jokey because you've had some incredible guests.
Tom is the most humblest person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody's more humble than I am. But you've had some really incredible guests on your show and some awesome conversations. And for me as a listener, the cool thing is you've done that thing where you've cemented yourself as a host and a personality enough that even if I don't know the person or I'm not super familiar with them, I know that it's going to be interesting and it's going to be worth the listen. And so I just tune in every week regardless, which is great. I feel like that's always such a huge win when people can feel that way about something that you make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, man. That's tough with that sort of format of a podcast with an interview format that people either tune in for the guest or, that's usually what they tune in for is for the guest. So I've really been trying. It's difficult, but I've been trying to incorporate some of myself and my own personality into the show, so people come back even if they don't know the person, because I want them to know people that I'm interviewing, even if they're not well known. I want that platform to be there for people.
Yeah, it's really cool to introduce. It's just cool to introduce people, kind of like we're doing right now, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's been really fun to watch it's been fun to watch you then become like a part of the podcasting community and a part of the YouTube crowd, because you've also got your YouTube channel as well. Your videos are always super
not
fun.
Consistent at all.
It's fine. They're really, really fun. So you can always I'll have to edit this description to add all Jared's info, but you can add everything. You can check out Jared's channel, and it's really, really just fun and enjoyable.
I have a
now your
whiteboard full of ideas for the YouTube channel. I just need to sit down and actually make the videos.
Oh, I get it.
I get it.
Yeah. I think anyone who does YouTube can kind of relate to that. Now you do remote interviews, obviously, especially 2020.
Yeah.
It's like impossible not to do remote interviews. Can you walk us through some of the gear that you use and how you do that? I know we got matching microphones and windscreens right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the gear that I use, I mean, mainly is the Rodecaster Pro is at the heart of it with the pod mic for myself. But then I use Zoom. I'm gonna start using Ecamm Live. I think this is the test, because I'm letting you be my guinea pig.
You can use my affiliate link. It's in the video from yesterday. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, the Rodecaster Pro is it's an amazing tool to be able to like tie in your computer audio or the phone audio. I mean, watch Tom's videos, you guys. Like it's an amazing tool. Like there's nothing that comes close to it, in my opinion.
It's so good, and on top of the functionality, the like reliability and the durability of it is huge. I know I've been watching a lot of D. Nimmons live streams and channels, and he travels with his Rodecaster in like a hard shell case on planes and stuff. He's been doing his live streams, I think weekly or twice weekly, from like hotel rooms and stuff, and he just boom, travels with Rodecaster, and it's still works great, because there's some other gear out there that has amazing functionality, but it doesn't hold up, and some of it will just fall apart.
That's the great thing, is you can actually travel with it. I mean, in my gear closet back here, I have a hard Pelican case that like it fits perfectly into with all my Rode mics and even boom arms if I need to travel with it. Pandemic happened, so I can't really travel with it, but I mean, it's a great tool, you guys.
I would love to see a tour of your gear closet in one video. And also, are those Nanlite Pavotube 2 6Cs stuck to the door frame?
No. So I have Nanlites coming.
Okay.
Very, very soon.
Which
RGB ones? I think we all know which ones. The big 4-foot RGB.
Okay, because I just got those. So if you're watching my scene, the back corner here is being lit up by two of those.
No, those are actually quasar tubes with magnets, and somehow in my door frame, apparently there's metal, because they're just chilling there with the magnets on the door frame.
Crazy.
They look amazing. It's great. It's a great little setup. I like it a lot.
With the hue lights, you gotta have some hue lights, right?
Of course. That's what I got. Also, like behind me, I got the hue lights. Sometimes I do have issues with the hue lights flickering, but that's a whole separate thing, which is why the Nan lights and dedicated video lights are amazing. Now, since you're doing remote podcasts, when I do my personal podcast and it's just me, or if Heather's nice enough to join me, we just plow through in real time and use the Rodecaster for everything. I did a whole video about my workflow where it's literally, there's no editing. It can be uploaded and ready to go within minutes of finishing. But when you're doing a remote guest, you kind of have to edit, to match everything up. To. Yeah, and it really does. It really does tighten up the episode a lot, because you can get rid of the awkward pauses. You can get rid of those mistakes. I mean, going through and editing an episode does lead usually to a better episode. So I'm not against it at all. It's just, it was more of a time issue on my part. But what do you use to edit? How do you do that whole process?
Yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, doing remote podcast, you have to edit. You can't just upload a raw episode, because, I mean, even like right now, like I'm hearing a little bit of a delay. I don't know if the people watching it can, but that comes through in the episode. Like when I plug everything in and sync it, you hear that delay. And so it would be awkward on a podcast. So you tighten everything up. I use, I'm an Apple guy, so I use Logic Pro X, Pro 10, whatever you want to call it, to edit everything and just kind of tighten everything up, EQ everything. I think it's really important I've gotten to the point where like I'm kind of picky with my guests to like make sure they can record their own separate clean track so we get some good audio and I can EQ it. And always make sure your guests wear headphones, whether they're Apple earbuds or any sort of headphones, because it can be really difficult to edit the episode when you're hearing yourself talking back to them.
Yeah. Sometimes I hear, not your podcast, but I hear other podcasts where somebody's talking, you hear the other person in the headphones, and it's not unlike the beginning of our stream right now.
It's tough to get rid of that. I have tools to help, but Isotopes, if anybody's looking to, so for some software, Isotope software is fantastic to help get rid of that. But it's a lot easier if you just make sure your guest wears, headphones.
Yeah, and it is just a lot better. I have a couple quick questions because I know you've got dinner on the way.
It's already been delivered because me and the wife were watching Heather's live stream of the couples table, and you guys were talking about Cheesecake Factory. So we ordered.
Then I will not keep you because very important to go to dinner. I have two questions for you.
And my wife is watching, and she sent me a text message. Says there's no delay.
Oh, good.
Yay.
So to not keep you from your dinner too much longer, in terms of your podcast, having done it for it feels like almost a year. We'll just say it's a year. 2020
it's
time doesn't work the normal way. And having all these guests and learn all this stuff, do you have any bit of advice or insights or anything that you've gained from that experience that you think would be helpful to someone else who makes a podcast?
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't started a podcast and you want to start it, just do it. I mean, just get started. You absolutely just have to. I mean, I think I was kind of talking about that in the chat in the last live stream where like creativity is like a muscle. If you don't work it out and you don't massage it and get it going, like it's just not going to be there. So just start creating. Just do what you want to do. There's going to be people that don't support it, but there's going to be a lot more that do. And people that understand what you're doing are going to be there for you. And if you already have a podcast, just keep doing it and just keep, trying to educate yourself on how to make it better. If you want to make it better, learn about sound, learn about EQing and compressing audio, just how to get it, just how to massage that episode and make it just a little bit better.
Right, because you don't necessarily need new gear. You just need like the repetition. You might not even realize your improvement, but you go back and look at episode 1, look at your most recent episode, and you're like, dang, I improved, even if nothing else changed. And then my last question, which I've been saving, it's very important, and it's potentially putting you in an uncomfortable position.
I think I know where you're going with it.
Will you be on my podcast?
Oh.
Absolutely. I mean,
terrific.
I totally thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna ask him what his favorite fast food place was because we were talking about food.
Oh, we should talk about that. We should talk.
Well, that's so okay. Cool.
You can talk about it on
we'll
the
talk
podcast.
about podcasts. That's terrific. Thank you. You heard it here first. But as you go off to eat your dinner, what is your favorite fast food place and least favorite?
Jack in the Box. Favorite Jack in the Box.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're located here in San Diego, right? So,
Yeah.
That's true. In my old
Those
hometown
curly
growing
fries.
up, I went to the grand opening of our Jack in the Box where they were giving away free hamburgers. I was like 9 years old. The first time I ever ordered my own food at a restaurant was the Jack in the Box grand opening. Big day.
I love Jack in the Box. I mean, In-N-Out would be first if I didn't have to wait so long in line.
Yeah.
Right. It's not so much in and out. It's like in, wait, and then out.
Jared.
But podcasting, like I would absolutely be on your podcast. I got to have you back on mine because I've been thinking about having Tom on as like a guest host. I haven't had myself on the podcast for people to learn about the actual host. So
Yeah,
it'd be cool
that's
to bring
great.
somebody
Yeah,
back.
I would. Oh, I'm down. That would be amazing. So
That'd
Jared,
be fun,
can you
right?
can you link your channel and all of the info in the chat? Some people are asking.
I think you're able to put it
I
in.
have no idea how to do that right now.
Oh, because you're not.
I will edit the description to add that. So if you're watching the replay of this, you'll be able to find it. But if you just search up the Hive podcast, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, it's called the Hive Podcast.
Well, Jared, thank you so much for taking a Friday night and time away. I know your dinner's getting cold. I appreciate it. Huge round of applause.
Yay!
I'll
Yeah,
be
thanks
in
for having
touch
me, guys.
as we work out podcast stuff. That'll be super
Bye,
fun.
Jared.
Adios.
See you
Have a
guys.
good night.
Let's see. Okay. I think we did it. We did our first guest.
It was good.
Yeah, considering we had no prep time. And Jared was amazing because he was like, if you need me to call in for like a minute before,
test.
we can do that. So cool. Thank you guys I was trying hard not to be distracted by the chat during the conversation, but there's so many things to look at. It's like mission control over here.
I know.
It feels I'm having work flashbacks. This is what my work classes are like. So this ties in really well, though, aside from us just wanting to try out the interview feature of Ecamm, because what I really wanted to talk about today on this pod, it's been like an itch that I want to get out. If it were Jared's room, it would be one of the things written on the wall, is the ethics statement that I made for my channel and my podcast. And if you listen to my podcast, because who hasn't? Everybody, and I'm kidding, most people don't. If you haven't heard that episode, I made an ethics statement last summer, which is something that I think if you're a YouTube creator or a podcaster, having some way to guide the way that you want to work with brands, sponsorships, affiliate stuff, all of those things that can be very tricky, touchy areas is really important. And I took a couple months earlier this year to kind of make my own, and I'm really proud of it. And I've gotten a few very kind emails from people that say it's been helpful and ask if they can borrow it and put it on, or rip it apart and do their own thing. And that's amazing, and I've seen it on other people's channels. So I wanted to share that with you because I think it might be helpful for anyone who creates stuff on their own. And it's also a good chance if you have any questions about why something is a certain way, and also a good chance to point out blind spots that I might have potentially, because believe it or not, I make mistakes sometimes.
Really?
You would never know it in my perfectly edited videos, but sometimes I make mistakes. So before that, though, I just wanted to... Oh, Jake is here. Jake Sloan. I know lots of people are here, but I just saw Jake because he's got his beautiful Alaskan profile picture, which pops out here.
Oh, I know Jake.
Jake's amazing. Good to see you, Jake. And Heather has been doing an awesome job moderating the chat. Is there anything important that we need to catch up on?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I don't think
None
so.
of it's important.
No, not that. Ron's doing a really good job of being a moderator as well.
Is Ron an official moderator?
I think we should just make...
I don't know if he wants that responsibility, but if Ron wants to be a moderator...
He can just have moderator privileges and then do what he wants with it.
That's true. He can just ignore it.
Yeah.
Or just spam.
Show.
That's interesting.
What did I want to say? Oh, yeah. Ethics statement. If you guys haven't made an ethics statement, here's my 2 cents on this. I didn't make an ethics statement when I first started. And watching Tom create his and see how it has played a part in his entire YouTube journey, podcast journey is... I wish I had created one when I had first started. You might think, why do you need an ethics statement, especially if you're at 0? But really, it's just a good practice to start thinking about these things and just to see how someone else is doing it, so that as you're making your first couple of episodes, your first few videos, you could start to think how you're going to kind of mold that or spin that for yourself. I didn't have an ethics statement, so I was kind of flying blind. And I think it's really important to know what your values are and know, what you don't want to compromise on your channel, the value you want to deliver, all those things. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I just want to add.
I did also just want to point out, Creative Spin Podcast said, we make a great team. Good job.
I love his profile picture.
Yeah,
I love
it's great. And it stands out really, really well.
I love the brick wall. Yellow brick wall.
It's nice. And then also, wait, where do we go? Nezzy Naps, a.k.a. Nezzy TV. You finally made a live stream. Thank you for being super supportive in like all my videos. I appreciate it.
Oh, you made him a moderator.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
So let's jump into ethics statement time. I had the clip from The Office with Michael and Holly talking about getting ethical. That's what we would do right now. It's not as boring as it sounds because, like Heather said, it's kind of a guiding thing. And one thing that I've seen, because I'm a member of a few Facebook groups or whatever, where people do YouTube creation. And sometimes when people kind of hit that point, maybe they're edging up to a few hundred, 1,000, 2,000 subscribers, and they start getting emails from companies wanting to do products, it can feel incredibly flattering because you're like, oh my gosh, I am legit now. People are reaching out.
Yeah.
I get to say this video is sponsored by blah, blah, blah. And that can feel good, and people jump on the opportunity, and oftentimes it sometimes just does nothing. which is fine, but sometimes it actually hurts, and that's what you don't want to do.
Tom got his first legit brand deal at like 300 subscribers, so it doesn't take much, guys. But also don't think that, you know, I mean, I think everyone's okay. Hold on, what am I saying? There are people whose full-time jobs it is to reach out and try to get people to review stuff and send you free stuff, and that's, you know, that, see, this is where the ethics statement comes in, because you probably won't want to do that.
Yeah, there's quotas and commissions and stuff, and so I wanted to share my ethics statement. I will say my ethics statement is largely inspired by Kevin, the Basic Filmmaker. So he's got a pretty large channel, been around for years, just tons of amazing knowledge, plus lots of like sarcastic quips thrown in there. If you find his website, Kevin the Basic Filmmaker, if you're not already familiar with his channel, he's got a very in-depth ethics statement, and that was a foundation for mine. And then I just sort of looked at what my values were, where I wanted to go, probably more importantly, where I didn't want to go, and kind of built it around from there. And it's not perfect, so I'm going to do a screen share because Ecamm makes it super easy to do that. Hey, look at that. And then I think we can pop ourselves up.
Whoa, so here we are.
Ecamm Live. What do you know about that?
You're moving us.
Moving Ecamm. Okay. So I do link my ethics statement in every video description. It's also on my YouTube About page. I tried to make sure it's not just for me. It's not something I have that's like just for me to see. And it's not something that I only share with like somebody who sends out an email and wants to be a partner or sponsor or whatever, which, by the way, I've only done one official sponsored video on my channel ever. So it's not something that happens very often. And I've done a couple videos where people have sent free things. Mostly Polar Pro has been really cool. Ever since even like pre-1,000 subscribers, Polar Pro has been great with like helping me out with filters and stuff, which is fine because I bought Polar Pro products way before I had a YouTube channel. And then the one Heather was talking about was actually a boosted board bag company. The owner reached out after seeing a video, and then actually ended up working with some of my students in my daytime job to do product photography, or at least practice product photography, which was really, really cool. So feel free. This is himynameistom.com/ethics. You can follow along or, copy paste. I would recommend not just copying and pasting it because something might not fit you, but feel free to, this is not proprietary. It's open for everybody. But this was something that I think is really important. So at the top, I have a little disclaimer, which basically just says, let's see if I can zoom in on this. Well, this might get funky. Oh, wait, let me, boom, boom, boom. Yay, look at that. My channel isn't the largest on the YouTube platform, but I truly value the relationship I built with my community over the past few years because I really want that to be the thing that comes first. Like when I had 0 subscribers and 0 views, there were people, not just Heather, who said, hey, yeah, this is cool. I want to be a part of it. That is really valuable to me, and I don't want to sacrifice that for something else. So that's the thing that comes first. Sponsored content is extremely rare on my channel. If I choose to work with a company, it will always be because I actually use the product and service myself and genuinely trust the company to provide customer service support. As soon as you have a channel that's in around 1,000 subscribers, you're going to get these emails from companies you've never heard of. They're like, hey, would you like to try the VH4000 ZV894 wireless microphone system? It's revolutionary. And you're like, I've never heard of this. And the answer is no. So anyway, I wanted to also let people know that if anything is ever sponsored or anything's provided for free, that I always make that super clear. For the most part, the stuff that you see on my channel is stuff that I've purchased. Sometimes I'll rent things. It's just really rare that stuff is... I'm really skeptical about accepting free things because I'm just skeptical that something is actually free. What are the strings being attached and things like that. So let's see here. Oh, yeah, this is very important here. Offering free products in no way guarantees a positive review or even a review video at all. Just like with sponsorships, I'm extremely accept. That's what I just said. But if someone somehow finds our mailing address, like our business mailing address, and sends something, like just because you sent a light or a camera or whatever, not that I've ever gotten that stuff, it doesn't mean like, now I'm obligated to make a review video for you, because ultimately, too, a lot of this stuff are things that, it's $50, it's $200. I would not make a video for a client for $200. I'm definitely not going to make one on my own channel and put my own reputation at stake for a $200 product that like I might not even need. So that's kind of the thing here. But what I wanted to do in my ethics statement was have straight up bullet points that just explain what, like, piece by piece, scenario by scenario, what is happening. So that's what we're doing here. And I do a lot of affiliate links, which sometimes people will get upset about. When I make videos, they'll say, you say this isn't sponsored, but there's a bunch of affiliate links in the comments, so blah, blah, blah. I know you just made this for the affiliate revenue. And that's actually not true at all, although affiliate revenue is an amazing source of income for a channel. But that's just for the stuff that I make videos about. I think Heather was the one that told me about affiliate links. Putting links in the description is crucial because if I'm talking about a microphone, or, hey, look at this windscreen for the pod mic, you're going to want that link because you're not going to want to have to go search for like pod mic windscreen. Is this the one he was talking about? Does it look the same? You're just going to want the link that's going to take you to the right thing because that's what I want. And so if I'm putting the link there and I'm essentially now selling a product for a company or at least directing customers towards it, if at no cost to the customer and no extra cost to me, I can get a commission of that sale that I helped generate. That's a great thing. And it was after like the 5th time somebody was like, I bought a Canon lens because of you. I was like, I've sold like thousands of dollars in Canon lenses now for no reason. Maybe I could get a percentage of those sales. And affiliate revenue is great if you're like me and you're doing like YouTube channel podcasts on the side, and then your channel or your creative endeavor can start paying for itself. It's like when I put captions on each of my videos, that's $1.25 a minute. So sometimes I did my 35-minute microphone review for the Shure MV7, this microphone right here. The captions for that video was like $40-something, and the channel was able to pay for it because of stuff like affiliate revenue and AdSense and things like that. So I think that stuff is pretty crucial. So here are a few of the bullet points, and we'll kind of just go through them. The first one, my content is my own. I create and produce each video based on what I'm excited about and what I think is relevant and helpful to my audience at that time. So someone can't show up and say, hey, Tom, make this product video. No, because I might want to make a video about an 11-year-old macro lens instead, because that's how my brain works sometimes. I'm open to suggestions though. Like when my lovely wife goes like, oh, wow, dude, like it'd be cool to do a video about your Zoom setup at school because this is neat. Oh, yeah, that would be kind of neat. But that's different. That's collaborative, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. My reviews are always objective. My opinions are always my own. Yeah, not influence, which is very hard. If someone says, hey, we're going to give you this thing for free. If there's a review on my channel, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be positive. Because if it were negative and I hated the thing, I just wouldn't make the video. Like I'm probably not going to make a video where I just trash somebody's product or service for 20 minutes and then post that. I would just not make it. So sometimes then people see like every time I watch one of Tom's reviews, it's really positive. He's a shill for Rode or whatever company. It's like, no, the fact the video exists means the product like passed the test. I hope that makes sense. Ron, I'm just going to point out here, you said Tom's recommendations always feel authentic because it's all clearly stuff he uses himself. It's never the new hotness. I mean, sometimes it is like the Zoom. That's where my mind is. The Shure MV7. I did get that like the day that it came out, but I was also like really interested and excited for it. And I actually really like the microphone. So I bought it. I use it. Still use it after the video. Paid for it myself. But yeah, I try to not just like, the new thing is coming out. I got to do the new thing. And then every year it's my new version of that product video, right?
The new thing.
The new thing. So the other thing is, let's see, my reviews are always something. Oh yeah, this is very important, and this has cost me a lot of potential opportunities. I do not submit previews of videos to anyone for approval or revisions, no exceptions. Most companies will walk away at that point because if they want to sponsor you, they want to see the thing that they paid for. They want to make sure that you're representing the company well. I feel that after several years and 200 and some odd videos on my channel, you have a pretty good idea of what my videos are going to be like. And it's probably not going to be super offensive. It's probably not going to be gross or weird. Like, you probably know what the video is going to look like. And I don't want, as soon as it turns into like, here's a copy of the video. Oh, we need a revision. How about this? No, revise that more. Now my channel that I started for me has now become client work, which I would just do client work if that's what I got here to do, but that's not what I'm here to do. So that's a big one. That's one that you know, really, if you want to copy this ethics statement, think about if you want to include some of these, because I can tell you right now, companies will say no to that. But the benefit is other companies, the ones I want to work with, will say yes to it because they already trust me and they already know, like, which is funny because it's like none of those videos exist on the channel yet. It's just been like hypothetical discussions because I'm so picky about sponsorship stuff. This is a big one here. I have full control over my content calendar. So sometimes a product comes out on a certain date. I might be working on a video and then a company shows up and they're like, hey, product coming out. Do you want to make a video for this product that comes out next Tuesday? But I already had, or next Thursday, I guess that's my day. But I already had a video scheduled for then. I'm not going to push back the video I was already planning to make for the sales pitch of the other product. So I control my content calendar. I'm happy to work collaboratively. Like, you know, that's fine. If it works out and there's something where it just naturally fits and it's like, hey, this comes out at this time, you could have a video, perfect, cool, that would be fine with me. But it's not like we were paying for a sponsored video, so you have to release it on this date and this time and that kind of stuff. No, like, this is my YouTube channel. It's called YouTube. It's called MeTube. Anyway, I'm going to broadcast myself. Just because a product is provided to me at no cost does not mean I will review it or feature it in a video. This next one is very important too. And again, it's up to you what you think, but I never work with Amazon sellers. I do have Amazon affiliate links, but not Amazon sellers. So when you go to Amazon and you go to buy something, sometimes it'll say shipped and sold from Amazon.com, and other times it will say, you know, shipped and sold from Heather's HatHut.com. And
that's a fake website. Don't
yeah, maybe it's not. I don't know. But it's not that there's anything wrong with third-party Amazon sellers. Like, lots of people make their income that way. The thing with it is that a lot of times Amazon sellers are sort of stuck in like quota mode, or they're trying to reach out and get as many sales as possible, and they can be super aggressive about the products that they're trying to sell. It's not because it's the best product. It's not because they want to provide the best service. It's because they need to like get rid of their inventory. That's not a reason that I want to make a thing on my channel. So I only work directly with companies. The Amazon affiliate links go to the products, and when I find the links in my description, I always try to make sure like the Rode thing is from the Rode Amazon page, and like it's direct. But that's a big one. And then I'm going to take a break and check in with comments after this. But the next one is I do not review pre-production versions of products and software. This is a very personal pet peeve of mine, but lots of times you will find, like, say something like a camera comes out, and the day the camera comes out, there's a million videos about that camera, and you're like, cool, this is awesome. And then you
That's me.
and then you watch the camera videos, and the creators often have to make the disclaimer, this is not a release version, this is a pre-production version, this is pre-production firmware. And I get it, but to me, that makes the video hard to... It can still be entertaining and interesting, but it's also like, this isn't then the product that I would get. If I get something, it could be different. It could look different, work differently, give me different results. So in a way, this video now is still not an accurate review that I'm looking for if I'm actually interested in that product. So to me, I just don't have the interest in doing anything like that. So that's kind of the first third of my ethics statement. I figured we could kind of like
Check in and chat.
Yeah. How's everything going? How are you doing?
I think I want to go take care of the dogs.
They're getting real antsy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to moderate?
Yeah, I can moderate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Because we also need... Oy.
Oh, yeah.
I almost got my foot bit.
Go
we also have been playing Zelda. I forget what it's called.
Age of Calamity.
Okay. I thought it was Hyrule Warriors.
It is. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Yeah, that has been our Thanksgiving week game, and this is not sponsored. That's a great
But check in
game.
with the comments. There's a lot of questions.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump up just a little bit here and kind of go through a few
And
things.
I am going to go take the dogs out. Maybe I'll be back. Maybe not.
You can also just relax because you put in the hours. Let's give Heather a nice round of applause.
Bye. I'll be in the chat.
Yeah. She'll be hanging out in the chat. This also means I'm going to move over to the comfier chair. We've got our 2 dogs here, and they one live stream into a second live stream. Now they're antsy.
Stuck in the chair.
My room is small, is the other thing. I'm going to take these off. Move this back. Oh, this is a comfier chair. Okie doke. So let's see here. Sorry if I'm moving the mic around and it's making noise. Here we go. I see people talking about Kevin the Basic Filmmaker. He's amazing. He's like a fountain of knowledge, and he has a lot of fun with negative things on his channel that might happen, like negative comments and stuff. Sasky Lee says, I'm super hooked to your channel. I've learned so much. Now I'm learning eCam, but I've never listened to your podcast. Oh, you're missing out. If you want to hear these kind of ramblings without video, I'm just kidding. My podcast is super fun, and I've had the opportunity to have some really cool guests on it. I have a really cool episode coming out this week that I'm super excited about. And of course, Ron's in there helping out, promoting the podcast. I should have Ron on the podcast. That would be amazing. Jared asked a really great question. So Jared, who we just saw, said, how do most companies react to that statement? And the answer is a lot of them, I never hear from them again. So they might send me an email, hey, we want to do this. The first thing is if it's a company that I know I don't want to work with, and I do politely tell them, thank you for reaching out. This is really cool. It's not the right fit for me at this time, but all the best to you and your team. Like I don't ever want to be rude to anybody. But if it's someone that I'm kind of interested in, like maybe it's a brand or a service or whatever that I'm familiar with that might be a good fit, then I say like, have you checked out my ethics statement? You know, let me know what you think. And sometimes I just never hear from them again after that, which is fine. But a couple times they'll come back and go like, this is great. I just had a company a couple weeks ago read it, and they did say the same thing of like, we always review sponsored videos, but we trust your channel, so I don't think that's going to be any problem there. Just like, please don't wear shirts that have a political statement or anything like that. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like I don't do that stuff on my channel anyway. But I still haven't, like, even past then, I still, like I said, I've only had one sponsored video on my channel ever, and that was from October of last year, so 2019. That was with Epidemic Sound, which was, they were great to work with, and they taught me a lot, and that was why I did it, really, was to, like, learn kind of the ins and outs with trusted things. So it is a good litmus test, which I'm going to get to kind of at the end of this whole thing here. I just wanted to point out Ron's thing of there's a channel with a guy who tries to fit as many marshmallows as he can in his mouth, and that guy will never sell out. He's going to sell out to Big Marshmallow. I don't know a marshmallow company. It's like, this video is sponsored by Big Marshmallow. Jessica Norton, hello. Thank you for joining. Tom, was this ethics statement something you created after getting offers from brands? This was kind of an unspoken thing that was in my brain when I started my channel, because I have always been wary. You know, it's like that thing where a friend from high school will reach out after like 10 years of never hearing from them, and they're like, hey, how you doing? You doing good? Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I'm good. And they're like, great, great, great. So I'm selling this lotion that's totally going to solve like all your problems. And you realize they're part of an MLM now. I never wanted my channel to be that. I didn't want it to seem like, oh, it's a guy making YouTube videos. Wait, he's just trying to like sell the next thing that comes out week after week. That I really didn't want. So in my mind, I knew this was how I wanted to function, but it wasn't until this summer that I formalized it and made it public. So that way I know what I need, viewers know where I'm coming from, and companies know where we're coming from, and we're all getting the exact same information. I don't want I like full transparency with that kind of stuff. So this has been incredibly helpful. Let's see, Mr. Camera Junkie. Lewis, thank you for being here. I think Peter is streaming. I didn't know he was going to stream tonight, and he started like right before I started mine. Peter Gregg, by the way, if you want to go check out Peter Gregg. Hey, Archer. Hey, Archer. What is up? You made a live show. Speaking of live and Rodecaster Pro and cool gear, this is an amazing channel that you should check out. I've learned a lot, especially if you're someone who wants to get into like streaming with the M50, and especially if you're looking at like speed boosters and lens adapters to use different stuff with the Canon M50. This is a great great source of info. Heather's now in the chat. There she is. Let's see here. And speaking of the M50, Lonnie Davis asked, do you recommend the M50 as a second camera? The M50 is wonderful. Heather has one. The only reason I never got one is just because I'm personally not a huge fan of the M series lenses. You can get the adapter and then use EF and EFS lenses with it, which is awesome. But see, then in my mind, then I go, but with the adapter and the M50, that's almost the cost of an RP. The RP seems really cool. Okay, so then if I'm putting it on RP, what if I just got the R? And then that's why I have two R's. Which, by the way, it is Black Friday. This is not sponsored, but if you go to canonpricewatch.com, which they're amazing, the EOS R, they have a deal for the EOS R for $1450, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. And they also have a deal for like $1550 where the R comes with the battery grip and a power adapter. So like the perfect live streaming setup. That was not the question that was originally asked, but there we go. Jessica Faith, I see you here. There, amazing. Thanks to my amazing moderators too, by the way. I really, really appreciate that. And Lonnie said, this is very important too. Do I have to buy the Elgato Cam Link for the M50? No. Check out the video I posted yesterday, the last half of it. I talk about Canon's webcam utility. You can just use the USB functionality. You'll get autofocus. You'll get a clean output. It's going to work great. It's not going to shut off after 30 minutes. It'll be an amazing streaming camera for free. It's a free download. So amazing. And yes, hello to all of the Jessicas, but I was talking to Jessica Faith because I didn't see her yet today. So let's jump back into the world of ethics here. There we go. The next bullet points. I do very much appreciate when companies offer information about their products and services, but I will only include what I think is relevant and necessary. And that's really just because sometimes you watch a review and it's just someone reading the tech sheet, like the spec sheet of a product. And that's cool. This camera has this many sensors and this many megapixels on its sensor and this, that. And that's neat, but that doesn't really provide like the most insightful info. So sometimes I'll include that stuff and other times I won't include that stuff. So I'm happy, when a product comes in, like one of the examples, which I'll actually show you. I'll be right back. Here we go. I have videos about all of these, which are the Polar Pro quartz line filters. So Polar Pro did give me one of the Peter McKinnon variable NDs, which I really do love that filter. But prior to that, they released these quartz line ND filters. They're not variable NDs. And one of them is an ND 1000, which is like totally amazing. It's great. And these are super cool. And they're made out of like this they're made out of this really cool glass. Like they repel water, they repel fingerprints. They're really high quality. They're pretty expensive. They did send these to me for free. I think my channel was at like 1,200 subscribers at the time, which was really cool. And they were just like, hey, you want these filters? We'd love to send them to you. That was literally all they said. They didn't say you have to do a video, you have to do a review, sign a thing, whatever. They just sent that. I think I told them I was going on a trip. I was going to Iceland and Switzerland. They're like, these filters will be awesome. You'll have a great time. And that was it. And of course I made a video about them because they're interesting. They have this like coding and all these features that I wanted to make sure I went and I got all the specs and I read it so that way it would be accurate information. So I do want my information to be as accurate as possible, but I don't want to just read a spec sheet. So I kind of decide I don't know. It's like when Apple says this year's iPhone is the fastest iPhone ever. And you're like, yeah, you didn't make a slower one than last year. Of course, why wouldn't it be? Like, sure, but that's not like a relevant statistic in a big way. I also want to let people know that I will work to seek answers. So if there's something I don't understand, if I'm using a product and I'm making a video on it, and something maybe it's a problem, but maybe I'm just messing up, I will work to figure that out and try to resolve that before I finish the video. So I want to make sure that I have the integrity, if I'm working with a company I really like for example, Rode, if you're out there, if Rode were to ever send me something and I didn't understand something about how it worked, I wouldn't want to just be like, oh, this microphone's not as good because the thing doesn't work as well. I would want to be able to say, to reach out to them and then to go, oh, that's why I was having that issue. And then even in the video, I could say when I was using this, I was confused about the blah, blah, blah. And it turns out to fix it, you just have to do the blah, blah, blah. You know how it works. This is a big one too. I'm more than happy to let others share my videos as long as there's a typo there. I need to fix that. As long as they post the links directly to the original video uploaded to my channel. This is a problem I've had. Sometimes people will want to use your video and they'll download it and like upload it to their own channel or upload it to their own proprietary website thing. That's a big no-no for me. Like, it's my channel. If you're using my video, I want you to direct people to my channel. That's important. So that's a big one there. This is one I added recently, and I did a whole podcast episode about this maybe a month ago. If I find myself considering a sponsored campaign of any kind that includes other creators, so sometimes, the thing that kicked this off, there's our corgi. The thing that kicked this off was the DJI Ronin RS2, the new Ronin gimbals that came out a while ago. It was a flood of videos about these gimbals, and they look amazing. So nothing about DJI, nothing about that, but literally I searched YouTube as much as I could, and I couldn't find a single female creator that was included in the release. And eventually, like 2 days, 3 days later, iJustine posted a video. It seems like she's kind of like, oh, we included iJustine, so we included female creators. And I know that these are male-dominated spaces, but that really bothers me because I know female creators and I am married to one. It's really important to me that level of diversity is there. And if a company is going to reach out to a group of creators, like there's, 10 people part of a campaign, if I, a white guy in my 30s, can give that spot up to somebody else who maybe isn't as often represented in the niche, I'm more than happy to do that. So, and I also want to make sure that, oh, look, if Tom's talking about a product that's released, which would be kind of a weird thing to see in the first place, but if he's part of that release, hype, look, there's all these like other people too to kind of give you a varied opinions. That's a really important one. If you do YouTube podcasts, whatever, I don't guarantee any number of views. I don't think that's possible. I mean, I could probably say like, yeah, this video is going to get at least 100 views the day that it's released. Like that's probably a safe bet. But I don't make any kind of guarantees. It doesn't matter. You pay, if a company paid any amount of money, I can't guarantee. I can tell you how good the video is going to be. I can tell you when I'm going to post it. I can do the best I can with it. But after that, it's in YouTube's hands and there's not much else I can do. So I don't make any of those claims. This last one is definitely one that I don't know, maybe is a controversial point. I do not participate in embargo wave releases, which is kind of the thing I just talked about. Sometimes new products are sent to creators in advance to be tested, and so that a video can be ready as soon as the product is publicly released or announced. Not only do I find these videos lacking in authenticity most of the time, they annoy me. I don't expect anyone to watch something that I wouldn't want to watch myself. And that is what I'm talking about. I don't know how to phrase this, because there's certain people, like when there is a wave of releases, sometimes my subscription feed will have like 30 videos in it that are all the same product. And it really happened a lot this year. And I know that companies are doing that strategy. It's not that there's necessarily anything wrong with it, but it's really tiring to see that. And even when they're from channels I really like, I just don't watch them. Because I'm just not interested. There's only like 2 that I'll watch. If Peter Lindgren has one, I'll watch one because we're buddies and we have a podcast together, and I want to see his take on a thing. And Gerald Undone, because I figure if a new thing came out, that's going to be the video, and Gerald has a video about it. That's going to be the one that tells me everything I need to know about it, and then I can be done after watching Gerald Undone. But otherwise, like the bigger thing for me is, like, okay, the pod mic, for example, the microphone I'm using right now. There's such a difference between somebody who goes, hey, I really want to find a good microphone. I'm going to do a ton of research. This is a microphone I think is right for me. I'm going to buy this microphone. I'm going to use it. I'm going to come up with my thoughts, and I'm going to post that as a review video. That is such a difference than somebody who's like, I have everything I need. Company just sent over product. I didn't spend my money on it. Sure, it's pretty good. Like, especially when we're talking about expensive things, cameras, gimbals, that kind of gear, where it's like, there's such a difference when you have put the money in, when you've got skin in the game. You know, I'm not saying like everybody has to pay for a product for a review to be good. I don't think that's practical either. But there's just a difference, like, you know, when phone gimbals come out, whenever new phone gimbals come out, I see tons of people talking about, this is the best phone gimbal ever, and they are super cool. But I also see those people never using phone gimbals after that. So it's not like, this product is amazing, and now it's in all of my videos. Like, that's a thing that kind of bothers me a little bit. Let's wrap up the ethics statement, and then we can jump back into comments and stuff. I did put down here just a little disclaimer that said, thank you for taking the time to read this. I just wanted to point out, like, this is not a legal document. And so I said this doesn't cover every possible scenario under the sun. I'm sure you can find missing things and contradictions. But my goal here was to hit the most common scenarios and then also just give people an idea. So even if you didn't see the whole thing, at least you have a pretty good feel for like what Tom will say yes to, what Tom won't say yes to. And then of course, you know, contact info if anyone had questions about that. And that has been hugely helpful. So that's been up in all my video descriptions and on my website for probably the past 5 months. And I've gotten a lot of great feedback about it. The cool thing is, even though I haven't done any sponsored content since doing it, or even any free products or anything, I have talked with several companies that I really like, and that I probably would do sponsored stuff with in the future. And I'm excited to work with those companies. And if that were to happen, that would be something that lets me do things I couldn't do otherwise. Like, I couldn't do that on my own. Whether it's a giveaway or just a higher level production thing, or, you know, a bigger idea or something like that, the sponsorship actually would make that possible. And the cool part is, as much as that ethics statement turns companies away because it's so intense, if a company does still want to work with me after that, it really is like a stamp of approval. Not that my seal of approval matters to like a giant company, but it is a way of, I feel like as someone who watches my channel, if you hear me say that a video is sponsored, you don't have to go like, he's going to start talking about a VPN right now. Not that there's anything wrong with VPNs, but like, you know, it's not just going to be something that's kind of ham-fistedly wedged in that makes no sense and isn't related to the stuff we're talking about, but it's like, I need to get my paycheck this month. And that definitely means like my channel doesn't generate revenue as quickly. Growth in terms of that stuff is not as fast, but it's more in terms with what I actually value. So in the long run, I think that will be better. And that is my ethics statement. I was going to play a sound effect, but I didn't want to. Oh, Canon Price Watch. There we go. Yes. I'm not sure if this is Gordon running the account, but I bought both my EOS Rs and my lens. Basically, this whole setup that's doing this came from Canon Price Watch. They're amazing. This is absolutely not sponsored. I have a whole video about how their thing works. It's just really cool people. Like, if you're into Canon gear or lenses for Canon gear and stuff, I check their website literally every day to just see cool deals. And Black Friday I don't think they sleep on Black Friday, so be kind. Dominic, you just got an M50. Congratulations. That's awesome. I'm really excited about that. Shalabi99, I'm so sad I can't find a Black Friday deal on the Sony a6400. Really? That's interesting. I would totally think the a6400 would be there. And Nezzy Naps, Nezzy TV, I got the white M50 2 or 3 years ago and recently bought the RP, but haven't tried it yet. I'm using the RP for live streams. The RP, I mean, it's a tiny version of this camera right here. As long as you can get it to run power continuously, gosh, what a cool... I have had to stop myself from buying an RP several times. The only reason I haven't gotten one is because of the different battery. Right now, both of my EOS Rs and even my motorized slider all use the same battery and the same battery charger, and that's amazing. And I just don't want to bring in other batteries into that. So that's the only reason I haven't gotten the RP. Ron said, have any companies ever told you a particular part of your ethics statement is a sticking point for them? I think it kind of covered this, but yeah, that has happened, and that's fine. It's kind of like if you've ever bought a car and you go to the car dealership and they always tell you, like, be ready to walk away from the deal. Like, if you say this is my price and be ready to just leave, it's kind of that. Like, that's it, you know? It is what it is. Eric Martinez found your channel very helpful. Thank you. Work for SoCal School District. Me too. We were shut down in March. Your videos are very informative, researching what equipment was out there for live streaming, still perfecting our board meeting live stream. Yeah, I can tell you, this isn't my school district. It's my former school district, but the Palm Springs Unified School District, they do a great job with remote board meetings that are like actually like the right info and the right people are displayed at the right times. It sounds simple, but it's an art form. You might want to check some of those out here. Yeah, what Heather said is surprisingly companies have been really accommodating and accepting. So I'm just going to throw a name out there because it's a good thing, but Artlist. Artlist was the first money I ever invested in my channel. Buying royalty-free music because you need that. I have Artlist and Epidemic. Actually, I made a video about it where I'm wearing the same shirt so you can go see the differences between them. I use both. They're both great. Artlist reached out last summer and wanted to do a sponsored video. And I was so scared about doing anything sponsored that I was like, oh, no, I don't think so. And it was right after I had done this ethics statement. They were the first people that I was like, here's my ethics statement, you know, like, let me know what you think. And they were like, we love it. Like, we think that just makes you even better to work with because it's so authentic. And I was like, oh my God. And I was actually working on a video. If you saw it on my channel, it's the one where I'm using my computer monitor as a background for like product shots. And they wanted to sponsor that video, and I just got scared. Honestly, like if you want me to be totally honest, I just got scared to accept the sponsorship. I wasn't quite ready yet. And so what I told them is I was like, here's what I'm going to do. Since you guys are being really accommodating to me, I'm going to make this video. I'm going to talk about Artlist in the video a little bit because that's a natural thing I was going to include anyway. But it's not sponsored or anything like that. But this is what it would have been like. So it's like a proof of concept thing. And then in the future, if you want to do sponsored things, now you have a frame of reference. So even though I'm not giving you, you know, a preview of the video, you have an idea of like, oh, he's going to make a video kind of like this. Which is so dumb too, because that video was like perfect because when I use my computer screen as a backdrop for products, you need to have footage and you need to have like royalty-free footage. So I use ArtGrid footage for that. And I was like, God, that was such a natural integration in it. But again, that was me being a little scared. I like this. Mr. Camera Junkie. The new iPhone 13, slower than last year. It gives you more time to focus on the stuff that really matters when your phone's not fast. Let's go through here. Dalai Lama's Tea. Hello from San Antonio. I was wondering if I could get audio from the pod mic without the Rodecaster. Yeah, it's an XLR microphone, so you can use it with any XLR interface. It just pairs really well, like a fine wine and a cheese or a Coca-Cola with a pizza. It's just a great pairing with the Rodecaster, but it's just an XLR mic. You can use it with any XLR interface. Let's see here. Oh, Lewis, I'm glad this is helpful info. I appreciate that a lot. Very, very much. Oh, okay. Explain equal ethnicity and gender participation. Surely that won't work in real life. Looks good on paper. It's not equal so much like, because another thing is, I've never participated in one of those embargo releases where everybody releases their video at the same time, kind of like I said there, but I've known people who have. And they don't, and when a company asks you to do it, they don't tell you who else is participating. So they're not like, it's this channel and this channel and this channel and this channel. They just say, do you want to do this? Yes or no. And it's kind of your little universe. And then when you post your video, you just see that's everyone else who had it too. But it's sort of like opening the conversation. So it's not that they're going to send me a chart that's like, here's the gender breakdown or the ethnic breakdown of everyone. But it's just the idea, like, for example, with the Ronin, I don't know the story behind that. DJI could have approached a bunch of female creators that maybe they just didn't make the videos or they said no or something. So I don't know the full story. But I also don't think it was anything malicious on DJI's part to exclude female creators from that. I think they just kind of went with people they work with. They went with people who are big in those spaces, people who have had good luck with those videos in the past. And that's what I think is what happened, but they might not even be aware of it. So by bringing that up and just sort of saying it, they might then proactively reach out to somebody. And I'd even be happy to recommend, other channels and stuff like that. Let's see here. Drew, I can answer your question real quick. I have a pod mic and a Focusrite Solo. For normal talking scenarios, the gain in the Focusrite is just enough. Do you think you don't need it, but it will help? And the reason I know this is because that's the same setup or very close to it that Patrick Rambles used to use. So there's a YouTube channel, mostly like tech, iPad-y stuff. Great videos, great channel. Patrick Rambles. It's where Patrick rambles about tech. He has a Rodecaster now, but prior to that, he was using the pod mic with I believe it was the Solo. And as soon as he got the Fethead, he was like, "Oh my God, it's a totally different microphone." So I haven't used it myself, but I think it could make a difference. Let's see, Jermaine Nichols. Is there a way to make it a legal document? I'm sure that there is. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And I like the ability to change it. If I want to add a point, I can just add a point. I don't need to do anything crazy. Because typically, too, when you do an actual sponsored thing with a company, they do have contracts for you to sign and things like that. And they will include clauses of how long the video needs to live on your channel, all that kind of stuff. And so this could dictate maybe what they include or don't include in that agreement. Which was really cool when I did my sponsored video with Epidemic last year. I told them, I've never done a full-on official sponsored video before, and they were so good about, good about walking me through the whole process. I'm so sorry I missed this, so this is kind of insane. Pablo KVS, Super Chat, 100 ARS. A really awesome surprise. That's what that stands for. Hey, Tom, just want to say hello. I like your videos and your puns. Well, almost all of them. Yes, I know. But see, the thing with puns is the feeling of constructing a really brilliant pun is hard to beat because it's just it's pun believable. But also, the feeling of a terrible one is almost equally as good. When the joke is how painful it is for someone to hear it, that is equally as satisfying to me. So we should just have a whole pun live stream one day. Thank you so much, and thank you for all of the support and the feedback. I really appreciate that very much. Oh, great. Saskia Lee said, I had this comment waiting to post in one of your videos that I think these companies should make you an ambassador because you speak so positive about the things you use. Yeah, I mean, if I use it, like I said, that's a testament to it because I'm using it because I like it and it's great. And I try to also remember geez, when there's a company that actually wants to make a good product and design it well and serve a community, that's a lot of work. And I really appreciate that. And even if something's not perfect, I just appreciate the work that goes into it. Let's see here. Oh gosh, Lonnie Davis said all your equipment was purchased because of you and your team. Yeah, people say curse you, every time a new video comes out I have to buy something, which is definitely not the point of the videos. But it is a thing that happens. And it means a lot to me that people would trust my opinion that much. And it really makes me relieved when they come and say, I bought this because of you and I like it, not I hate it, because that'd be terrible. But it's not my goal to just sell products, I promise. But I just really like gear. I think these tools are cool, the stuff that they let you do. And what's really fun for me is to, I try to make my videos for me 6 months ago. So what was I dealing with? What did I need? What was I working on 6 months ago? That's kind of who I keep in mind. And it seems like that works, but it's that's why it's kind of, there's always the one next thing, because it's the same thing I did where I was like, oh, cloud lifter actually helpful, windscreen really helpful. Oh, this lens, that thing. And trust me, there's some other stuff I haven't made videos about just because I'm people don't need to spend more money because of me. But it's also why I try to then balance it out with here's a software tutorial. You don't need to spend more money. Let's just talk about how to use this software more, or do this, this thing with what you already have. I think that's important. Let's see here. Hassan, yes, I'm using Ecamm to overlay messages on the screen. I need to get my Stream Deck all set up so I can be more slick with Ecamm, but I really, really, really like Ecamm. It's great. Heather said we're almost at 100 viewers. Whoop, whoop. It's, you just click on the comment and it pops it up. But it's also like, I apologize if I'm missing things like super chats. I'm not trying to ignore them. I don't have a thing set up yet where it will like pop it up, so I'm trying not to do that. Hassan, am I sponsored by Ecamm? No, I'm not. But I do have an affiliate link, which I should probably put in more of my descriptions, because it's actually a really good, it's a really good thing. But no, I just use Ecamm and I really like it. And the cool thing about it too is like the community behind Ecamm is really great, and the people who make the product are great. It's not perfect. It's got some quirks and bugs and things that you can really tell like they actually care about the product they're making and they want it to be good. And I love OBS, which is free and incredible, but I've struggled with OBS for many years sometimes, and Ecamm, just like getting rid of that friction, is just wonderful. Absolutely. Headache Trekin, I'm going to butcher that name. Think of starting a YouTube? Absolutely you should. Just make it about something sustainable that you can make not just 3 or 4 videos about, but 300 or 400 videos about. Tom is not sponsored by anyone. I'm sponsored by Heather for life. Be sponsored by Rode. The thing is, like, I don't think it's that Rode is not trying to reach out. I don't think they do a lot of sponsorships. Rode is ultra supportive, and like they're great with the community and stuff like that, and they're very nice people, which is very cool. Rode did let me, for the most recent firmware of the Rodecaster, they did let me try that before it was released. That wasn't for like a video or anything. It was just like they let me try it out so I could look for bugs and things and beta test it basically, and that was really cool. That was just like fun for me. Dalai Lama's Tea, do you plan on doing more videos on Patreon? Right now my Patreon is a mess. Oh, it's not a mess, it's just a tip jar basically. It's more about my bandwidth of time. So maybe my podcast is the thing to go into deeper discussions about this, but I do like having my channel organically and authentically generate revenue. And right now the channel has something like 10 revenue streams coming from it, which is amazing. And this is stuff I knew nothing about when I started. I had no intention of making $1 with this channel. And I know things like Patreon, even YouTube memberships, which is an option. I don't want to rush into those things, and I don't want to promise like, hey, Patreon, you get an extra video every week, and then now I have to make an extra video. It's like, because I also have a full-time job, which is, that takes a lot of time, and I want to make sure that I want to make sure that when I commit to something like weekly videos, weekly podcasts, that I can actually follow through on that commitment as good as possible. I think that's really important. Yeah, don't worry, Scott. My channel's not going to look like a NASCAR. I should just do get all the sponsors I'm going to use for 1 year, do one video where it's just like everybody is sponsored this one thing. Yeah, but it's also let's put it this way. All of this stuff I'm talking about with sponsorships is not the way of making the most money for your channel. So if that's the route you're going, that's not this route. This is the long game. This is definitely the marathon way. Let's see here. My puns are punny. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Bunches o' puns. Puns are just amazing. And this is kind of what it comes down to. So Nezzy TV, trusting your opinions. I value that a lot. And as the channel is growing, the idea that I still get the comments where people tell me I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about and stuff, and they go right in the trash. But this is important to me. If you're thinking of spending your time, energy, and money on something, and you watch one of my videos and it influences that decision in some way, that's a big responsibility. I want to make sure that when you see stuff it's on my channel, it's because it does have a purpose, and I try to very clearly explain what that purpose is, what a unique way to use it might be. It's why I'm not so interested in the super tech specs on my channel, is because there, like I mentioned, Gerald Undone, like, you know, I know we don't always talk about the same products, but someone like that, you don't need to learn, if you watch a video of his, you don't need to learn tech specs about that product anymore. But for me, what I then become very interested in is how does it actually work in real life? It's like when Canon announced the R5 and they're like, it does all these things, these amazing features. And then people started using it and they were having overheating issues. That's a very big difference between the tech specs and the real world performance. And obviously, like, you know, those specific issues kind of evolved over time, but I'm interested in like, how does it fit into your workflow? Is this thing gonna, you know, when I got the Rodecaster Pro, it solved so many problems. Prior to that, I was, you know, had multiple things kind of daisy chained together. The audio quality wasn't as good. Everything was more difficult. And this thing just like alleviated all of that stuff. So I loved it like right away. And that kind of stuff I get so excited about sharing. Thank you, Jermaine Nichols. Your channel's pretty dope. I just hope I'm not a dope. Nope. Hassan, just so much gear because of your recommendations. Well, you know, I think you talked about them earlier, but the Nanlite Pavo tubes, about the big ones, the 4-foot ones, they're what's lighting up this corner over here. You can connect them together as like a main one and then like they call it master and slave, but that's not the best terminology. And then they can sync up together. It's super cool. They're the big 4-foot lights. I love them. They will absolutely be showing up in a video. They're expensive though. Tracy, a bad pun is when we're all just dust in the wind. Great channel. Thanks for all you do. Glad I caught this live chat. I am glad you caught it too. I'm glad you're here. Oh boy, I've got some special guests over here. Oh, I got this guy here. This is our corgi. He had his first Thanksgiving yesterday. He was very excited about it. Oh, okay, buddy. He learned how to jump up in my chair, and now if you like don't sit in this chair, he tries to like take the chair. The dad jokes, that's like the amount of time that I spend trying to come up with like specific puns and jokes for each video is absurd. I should put that time into other things, but it's really valuable. I am working on a video right now. I bought the cheapest USB microphone on Amazon, which was from a brand called Fifine, Fifine. And let me tell you, when I was searching up cheapest microphones and that one popped up, I was so happy because more than the audio quality of the microphone, which is actually great, I was just excited about like, there's so many jokes I can make with Fifine as the brand name. So look out for that video. Oh, great. Team Workaholics. Your videos are super inspiring. Big reason why I'm starting a work motivating podcast soon. Purchase the Rodecaster Pro. Videos have been a blessing. Good luck. I would love to be updated on how that goes. Starting something is super cool. Podcasting has been amazing. I love podcasting. It's something I didn't expect to do. 06DZN, how old are you? My 35th birthday is next Friday. Oh, look, Philip knows. Next time, Philip, just put in my social and my bank account info as well. Somebody left me a comment the other day that said, you look like an old guy trying to be young. And then I died inside. Let's see here. Yes, Heather. I think I've brought Heather to tears, but in like not the good way with puns at certain points. Let's see here. Genuine and authenticity. Philip, you said Sigma 35 millimeter. Right now I'm using the 24 millimeter, but funny you say that. The 35 was my dream lens for like 3 years. And then I bought the 24 just because I realized for me, the wider focal length was better. And I love the 24. And I did order, which hasn't been released yet, but I did order the RF 50 millimeter 1.8. So I'm excited for that because I haven't had like a good 50 millimeter lens in a while. Oh, somebody, this was a cool one. I actually was going to do a video about this. So Official Ishmael said, how much did all of your equipment cost estimate? I was trying to round that up. It's a lot. And I was going to make a video about this, but I couldn't tell if it'd be interesting or not. I forget what the exact number is. I mean, it's in tens of thousands, but it's also been collected over many years. You know, since I've gotten really into YouTube, I've upgraded more often than usual, but I got my first DSLR in 2007. I've been, I've had video cameras and things since 1990s. Like, so it's a long time. I have some stuff like my Shure SM57. I've had that since 2005. So there's a lot of gear that's been around for a while. And then there's newer gear, of course, too. So it's not about like, I need to just max out my credit card to take out a bank loan right away. It just takes time to do that stuff. Exactly, Jessica. When Gerald and Dunn exists, why bother with tech spec? That's why it's like, he's going to handle that. Everybody else can focus on a more unique spin on it because he's gonna handle it. Let's see. Alpha Croupier. I'm looking for information on the PreSonus PD70. As if it's better than the Rode Pod mic. I don't have any info on that mic, and I don't have info on audio interfaces. The Focusrite I know are very important. The Rodecaster obviously is a good one. I've had this for many years, and it's been in videos. This is a Yamaha MG10, but they make smaller versions of this mixer. This is about $200. I think they have like a $100 version that's like 2 channels or 1 channel or something. I love these because you have physical controls, and it does have a USB interface. It doesn't have as much gain as something like the Rodecaster does. So depending on your mic, you might need not phantom power. You might need a cloud lifter or something like that. It does have phantom power though. So maybe something like that, like a little mixer. I know Behringer does some mixers like that too. They're under $100. Ronaldo said, bank account overrode my influence on buying your stuff. That's, it could be for the best. There have been a few times I've tried to make online purchases where you click the button and then it's like, your card did not go through. And you're like, oh, that's okay. Maybe that was for the best. Let's see. Team Workaholics. You guys starting up your show and you asked, what do you recommend for starters regarding OBS or any other options for podcasting beginners? I have a podcast workflow video, but I don't do a video podcast. Heather and I do our live stream, so I guess I do a video podcast. Wow. I didn't even realize it. What I recommend is what you have. So if OBS is the thing you're using, working with what you have and then upgrade as your needs become apparent. Because I can tell you, I use this camera and I use these lights and I use this, that, and the other thing, but that really might not work in your space. Like for example, the Aperture 120D, 300D lights with big softbox. Those are probably my favorite video lights that I've used. I have them at work. They're amazing. If all I did was watch videos and everybody had those lights, I would buy one and have it here as my main light. It will not fit in this room. It's the most impractical choice totally to use here. So just because something is good or just because it's working for someone else doesn't always mean it's the best thing for you. The best thing to do is start with what you have and then realize, like, if you're using OBS and it starts to become a pain, that's when you might go like, let's check out Ecamm a little bit. Or if your sound isn't quite where you want it to be, do you need a cloud lifter? Do you need, other gear? If your video isn't coming through, like, find these little areas where you want to improve and then focus on those piece by piece. But it will take time. It'll totally take time. I like just the warning from Ron about Gerald and Dunn being crazy. And one day he's warned us, he's absolutely warned us. Pablo, I tried really hard on adding a pun to my super chat, but I couldn't think of one. You couldn't think of one pun? I couldn't get it done like Gerald. Anyway, the best puns are the ones that you think are bad. Yeah, that's a joke. And then again, from teaching high school, when I can say a pun and I can see physical pain on the faces of my students, then I know I've done my job for the day. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Heather, you're coming in. If you would take a course created by Tom, please tell him. And what would you want the course Tom be about? Yeah, I've been wanting to do a course for a long time. And I feel like the fact that I've been a teacher for over a decade is I'm good at teaching stuff. So if there's something to dive into in depth, I'd really like to do that because I've been posting videos about my like school setup and people keep asking like, how do I sign up for your class? And I'm like, it's a public high school. Like you got to live near the building. So I would like, though, the idea of a course is fun because everyone would choose to be there. They'd already be motivated. They'd have skin in the game because it wouldn't be free. And then it would be a really fun, like, group of people to work with, I think. So I'm really excited about that. Fafine actually isn't the worst. No, it's actually pretty fafine. It sounds more than fafine, actually. Let's see here. More like a young guy trying to be young. Just a young buck. You know, that's me. Not so much anymore. I like that, Jared, you said, I made your wife feel old, but not you. This is funny. I'm a youngin'. It's really funny. My first year teaching, because I started teaching when I was 24, 25. And I absolutely tried to, like, the security on campus would try to send me to detention when I was walking around during class time and stuff. And it happened often. Let's see here. Oh, nice. Saskia, I just started YouTube last December and turned 34 tomorrow. Happy birthday. Plan to start my podcast as 1 year. Yes. Podcasting is so much fun. And yeah, there's so many different ways. There's like infinite ways to approach podcasting. It's great. And Bill, Ecamm Live, that's the answer there. We had our other dog, Ben, was over here. Maybe that's what you saw me reaching for. He's a giant golden retriever, so I cannot pick him up. Daniel, I don't want to brag, but thank you for the super chat, Daniel Bragg. How are you getting such good audio into Ecamm if that's what you're using? Rodecaster Pro. Let's see here. Actually, I can try something new. I can do a screen share, and I think I can just share my whole display. Oh, but it hides the icons. I was trying to show like all of Ecamm. I know I can do this, which I did in my video yesterday. I think it'll just break Ecamm. Oh, I can just show. Oh, that's as cool. Wow. Yeah, so sound levels, Ecamm, you can just select the Rodecaster as an input source when it's connected, and then use that, which is pretty awesome. Ecamm lets you select different parts of itself. That's cool. I didn't know that. Oh, Heather's working out. Yes. So Heather, you guys should send her some good juju. She is on day 93 of like basically at least an hour of intense exercise every single day. My birthday next week will actually be her 100th day, just by coincidence. So that's why she had to leave. She's been working really hard. I forgot, because before we started the stream, she was like, I need to exercise. And I was like, don't worry, it'll be short. And now it's like hours later. It's just too much fun. Tim White, just wanted to say hi. Thanks for all the help. You're welcome. Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Ishmael, video podcast. I mean, same thing. Start with what you got, even if it literally is your phone, even though I'm not a huge fan of phone videography, and just upgrade as your needs become apparent. Plus, you never know, like, what if you do 2 or 3 episodes and it just isn't the thing for you, and now you've invested a bunch of money in gear? Like, wait until my first, many episodes of my podcast were with the VideoMic Pro plugged into my old Zoom audio recorder from like 9 years ago. And that was the main thing of my podcast, because that was the gear that I had. And once I realized I was going to keep going with it, then it was like, let's invest in other stuff like that. Let's see here. Oh, no, Dr. Deceptive. I didn't mean to deceive you by not explaining what phantom power is. Phantom power is, it's a cool thing about XLR microphones, is that some of them, if you have a dynamic microphone, you don't usually need it. But if you're using a condenser microphone, usually they need power to give the signal, like the best quality signal. And instead of having to plug in the XLR thing and then also plug in power, which would be very annoying, your XLR cable can send power if your mixer has phantom power, which most mixers do. And basically, there's usually a button, or in the Rodecaster Pro, there's some settings, and you can just send phantom power, and it will then power the microphone. I am actually using it right now because I'm using a cloud lifter with the Rodecaster. It's to boost this mic signal, and the phantom power is going into the the phantom power is going into the cloud lifter, to basically turn the cloud lifter on, and the mic's going in there, its signal's getting boosted, and that's what's going out to you guys. So Phantom Power is super cool, and it has an awesome name too. Jessica, you mentioned earlier that Heather introduced you to affiliate marketing. Are you part? Yes. So let's see. I finally converted this to a spreadsheet earlier this week. But I was keeping like all my channel revenue in just a notebook. So affiliate programs, I do Amazon affiliates, which is the easiest one to do. It's so easy to create an account, and that's great. Because if someone clicks your affiliate link within like 24 hours, if they buy something, you just get a percentage of the sale. It doesn't even have to be the thing that you put. So if you click my EOS R Roadcaster link, but then you go buy a book or something, I'll still get a percentage of that sale. That is like amazing. I do Artlist and Epidemic affiliate programs, which after I did my Artlist and Epidemic video, each company reached out to me independently, and they were like, hey, this video is awesome. Thanks for explaining our thing. Do you want to join our affiliate program? And I said, yeah, that'd be great. Like both companies are great. I get offers pretty regularly from other royalty-free music sites, which is nothing wrong. There's lots of great ones out there, but I just stick with these two. And I've used them for years and years. I do, so Amazon, Artlist, Epidemic. I do put ads on my videos, which I didn't do till this year, actually. I was really not wanting to do ads. So I put skippable ads before and after the video, no mid-roll ads, because I don't want to. So there's that. I also do with Amazon, I use Genius links, which basically just means since I have a lot of viewers who are not in the United States, if they click on an Amazon thing, it figures out where they are and then directs them to their Amazon store. And then, so, if someone's in Italy and they click there to go to the Italian Amazon store, they can buy, and then it'll still do the commission for me. But you have to sign up for affiliate programs on every one of those sites, which is tedious. And then I just started the Ecamm affiliate thing, which is super fun. That was just because I made a video yesterday and I was like, oh, if I'm talking about Ecamm, I should get that green cam. You know what sorry. But it's great. So all in all, there's about 10 sources of revenue for my channel. I think there might be a couple others. But it really makes a difference, especially as the channel grows. Let's see here. I would love to see how you troubleshoot audio issues without a Rodecaster. I mean, there are a lot of ways. The simplest thing, before I had any of this and wanted to do a stream, I just used a Blue Yeti USB mic. It's a really good microphone, $100, amazing. Let's see, Lonnie. So for clarity, Ecamm is recommended for StreamYard. It'd be either Ecamm or StreamYard. So they're kind of two sides of the same coin. I was using StreamYard for a while. StreamYard is really simple, and I like that. Ecamm is more customizable. StreamYard, the plan you have to pay for to stream at 1080 was actually a little bit more expensive than the pro plan for Ecamm, which is the one that lets you do interviews. That's how I got Jared in here at the beginning of this stream. And I really like all the customization widgets of Ecamm. Both are great, but you shouldn't need both. Like I wouldn't pay for StreamYard and Ecamm. I would choose one and put my money there. Dominic said puns are the favorite part of commenting on the videos. I appreciate that. Thank you, Lewis, for explaining better than I could. Oh, we go there. Will having to teach another course outside your school class be overwhelming? Yes, but the beauty of online courses is, one, my wife Heather has put together several and kind of knows the ins and outs. And once you put in all that work to create the thing, for the most part, it can kind of run itself in the background. If you wanted to do a premium thing, you could do that. So for example, this will sound like a shameless plug. Let's jump back to Google Chrome. So for example, I started getting a lot of really technical emails sent to me. Like people are like, this is my setup. I have all these questions. And I was like, it's going to take me 45 minutes to reply to this email. And I just can't. So one of the things I did was at Heather's advising, I just opened up a very quick consulting page on my website. So I put a couple hours a month. Let's see, you can pick your time here. and then people can go through and pick like what time they want, pick a slot, and then we do a 1 hour video call. And I put the price like fairly high because I am busy. It needs to like, I want people. Oh, there's my Epidemic. See, that's what I was playing my intro music with, and it shows me that my time is going to be used well, and the person who's using that time is serious about what they're doing. But that's the kind of stuff that would cost extra, would be like a live cohort of people, or like Heather and I, we do a mastermind that meets twice a month. So if you go to ytmastermind.com, you can join that group, and we meet with people who are building their channels and do channel critiques, channel reviews, feedback, all that kind of stuff. And it does take more time, but my not so secret goal, is maybe at some point in the future to only have one job. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Ronaldo, I'm really glad Anchor's working out for you. That is awesome. Creative Spin, you guys are making me feel old, turning 44. That's not old at all. Like it, yeah. And I'm saying that because I know I'll be there before I know it. Dalai Lama's would be super cool once COVID is gone if you had workshops. I would love to do in-person stuff. And Heather and I were really like trying to put that stuff together maybe like a year or two ago, like as a team venture. But then obviously the world shut down. Yeah, but I would love to do that kind of stuff. In person, I love teaching, but I am getting burnt out on public education, to be honest, just because there's so much more to it than, sharing the passion for the content, and it can be really exhausting. Like Spike. Oh, really need to, so you need to say like Spike. Everyone here drop a like Spike in the chat. I don't know, I just wanted to be cool. I saw everyone saying this, so I wanted to do it too. Let's see here. Peter, are you using the Aphex Big Bottom oral exciter or compressor on the Rodecaster? Just a little bit of the Big Bottom. And that's it. The rest is just straight out of the pod mic. Alrighty. Let's see here. I feel like I have missed a couple super chats, and that sucks. So I want to go. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, I just want to make sure, geez, if someone's being supportive, I want to do that. When can we expect Tom Buck merch? It would just be my face. It'll be a face mask with my face on it. and a picture of the Rodecaster, which I think I did show you guys this at one point. Oi! This is something Rode sent me, which is actually a cherished possession. Let me see if it'll focus. Yes, it's a pin that says the Rodecaster Pro. So I guess if I wear it, that makes me the Rodecaster Pro. Thanks, Liz. We're in great. Yeah, that's a scary thing to even admit at all, but yeah, it's there. And Dan is here. Yes. So sorry, Dan C. Bearded, amazing channel, super fun. Even if you're not a bearded person, you can still enjoy his content. But Heather said, acknowledge how good Dan is at rocking the affiliate game. Yeah, he does it right. He keeps his authenticity there, builds his community, and does all that kind of stuff. Hats that say loudest fuck. Oh boy. Oh, Dan, cool. My payment for plugging your channel. Thank you so much. I'm just kidding. For Del Taco, yes, I'm gonna get my half-pound bean and cheese red burrito and crinkle cut fries. Thank you. Alrighty, guys. I have been streaming now on this channel for a while. Ecamm just gave up. 1 hour and 43 minutes. Where did the time go? Plus Heather and I did an hour before that. So this was super fun. I really hope it was really cool to hear from Jared. That was really fun to have him here. I love that guy. And then also thank you to everyone who stuck it out and hung out with me. I hope that the discussion of the ethics statement was interesting. I have other ideas for live streams, but I know that a lot of people who watch my channel are content creators themselves. And they do podcasts and YouTube channels or both. And I thought that something like that might be helpful. So I hope that it was, and we'll see. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the encouraging words. I do appreciate that. We will see. We'll see what 2021 has in store. Who knows? And I am going to go, because I'm a 35-year-old adult, I'm going to go play Zelda with my wife. And we are going to have some fun And there we go. Oh, and I will just answer this one here. Samson Q2U is a wonderful microphone that is very, very popular. Have a great night. Thanks again to my lovely wife, Heather. Let's see. I could make this feel like a show. I can bring back in my little like ska beats here, right? My Epidemic royalty-free ska beats. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, alrighty, guys. I don't know if the mixing is weird, but I'll see you guys at some point. Keep an eye out for new videos. Thanks for being here. You gave me the most wonderful gift of all, which is cheesy as it sounds, is your time. And I really appreciate that. And I had a wonderful time. So I will see you some other time. Goodbye. Have a great night. Stay safe. Have fun. And I'll see you guys later. And I have to click this button to end the broadcast.